I've been traveling and working remotely for a while, and for the last 3 weeks I lived in Funchal, Madeira. But if you're thinking about doing the same, here is the real question. Would you actually get stuff done, or would you get distracted? Would you feel lonely, or would you find a great community? In this video, I take you through a full day in Madeira, the community there, what you can do, and the biggest lessons I've learned. So you know exactly what to expect if you're traveling to Madeira, and especially Funchal, Madeira. Mornings start with sunrise workout. Days are spent from the co-working, and evenings are for meeting like-minded people. But is it as perfect as it sounds? Or will distraction, loneliness, and reality catch up with you? Here's what no one tells you about being a remote worker in Madeira. The first day I spent in Madeira, I woke up quite early and I knew there was this calisthenics park. So I thought, okay, it's still dark, let's do a workout. I went to this calisthenics park, and during that workout, I saw an amazing sunrise. So I decided to put that into my daily schedule. Every morning I woke up, went to the calisthenics park near the sea and saw a sunrise. The nice thing is that Madeira has a really good climate, so it's almost always warm. From the workout, I went back to the place where I stayed, took a shower, some breakfast of course, and then I went to the co-working. I personally went to a Coworking Funchal. I tried a couple of others, like Sangha-coworking and some cafes, but for me personally, I prefer co-working because everyone around you is working as well and helps you with not getting that distracted. And some other points we dive into later. What I liked about Coworking Funchal or Cowork Funchal is that they had this really nice outdoor space. Sangha-coworking has an indoor space where you can view the ocean, but Coworking Funchal has like this garden where you can sit, do your calls, do your work, so you can spend your whole day working outdoors. They allowed me to record my videos there with the nice Portuguese tiles in the background. I even recorded the podcast there, but before you do, if you go there, ask them first, of course. The people who work there are really nice, but it's genuine to ask if you're allowed to do that. And one of the parts that I also really liked about Cowork Funchal is that they had a brunch every Wednesday, which was a great opportunity to meet other remote workers, entrepreneurs, to network with or share knowledge with, or just have a nice talk. Biggest difference between Sangha-coworking and Coworking Funchal: Sangha-coworking has unlimited coffee, and Coworking Funchal you need to pay 60 cents. But it's up to you if that matters or not. So after a day of working, sometimes in the evening, I also just worked. But after a day of working, normally I went out with some friends because you have some great things there. You need to try the pancha, that's like an alcoholic drink they have there. Don't drink too much, just one for trying, or depends on the kind of night you want to have. You can drink multiple. Or I went to dinner with some friends, or there were multiple events where there were speakers that you can learn from, network from, whatsoever. One of the biggest problems remote workers face is loneliness, but in Madeira that's not a problem, if you know where to look. So how do you actually meet people there? Well, for me there were 3 ways of meeting people in Funchal, Madeira. There's this community called Madeira Friends, and they have multiple WhatsApp groups. They have one for community hikes, they have one for people who like dancing, they have one for people who like working out, and they have one for entrepreneurs as well. So join those WhatsApp groups and it will help you big time to come closer to people or meet people, and you see what's happening on the island. Another way is go to a co-working, because like I said, the co-working I went to, it's easy to meet people, or when you're at the coffee station, it's also easy to meet people because you're both waiting for your coffee, you have a bit of chit chat, and you're networking. Talk to people, ask questions, and in a co-working it makes it a bit easier. And last but not least, go to events. Madeira Friends, the community there organizes a lot of events. They have a community hike every Sunday. They have like a meetup or a lunch every week as well, mostly on Wednesday. They have like the events where I was also invited to be a speaker, just as what I did when I was in Lisbon, which is also a great opportunity to network and share knowledge with others as well. And every Saturday, the community organizes some outdoor workouts. You meet people, you talk to people, you have a connection, and you meet up afterwards. Also, the WhatsApp groups from Madeira friends and the events they had were a great opportunity for me personally, because I just started the Digital Nomad podcast. So I met tons of people through the events and WhatsApp group that I recorded a podcast with, bonded with, networked with, and I think I made some great friendships there. And now I'm not saying that you need to join a podcast, but search for some collabs, search how you can be beneficial for others. And in that way, it becomes easier to come in contact with others as well. So if you think this video is valuable so far, just subscribe and hit the notification bell to follow my whole journey as a remote entrepreneur that you can learn from as well. I'm also going to Bali soon, so there will be videos shoot there as well. So if you're curious about that, stay tuned, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Living and working in Madeira taught me some valuable lessons. Things I wish I knew before arriving, from unexpected challenges to things that made the experience on the island even better. Here are 5 lessons I learned the hard way so you don't have to. 1 is time zone. Even though I am from the Netherlands and most of the work I do remotely is in Dutch time, it was 1 hour difference. That 1 hour difference was 1 hour back. So the Dutch time when I started was around 8. And the time I had in Portugal, Madeira, was 9. Well, the other way around. When it was 9 in the Netherlands, it was 8 in Madeira. That meant that most of the coffee shops, the co-workings or whatsoever were not open yet from the moment that I needed to begin or sometimes had my first calls. So that was a challenge, but all managed by just having my hotspot. And doing a sales call at the beach is not beneficial, but it works. Another lesson I learned is you need less than you think. I've experienced this when I lived in Lisbon for a month as well, that all you need is a suitcase with your basic stuff. And when you go to a kind of bigger city or have a good Airbnb or whatsoever, you can just live from a suitcase. And this was mind-blowing because I always was the guy who wanted a Rolex or really nice stuff, like quite materialist. But after my trip to Lisbon and now also again to Madeira, I've just realized that you don't need that much. And that's cool because it saves you a lot of money if you just don't buy a Rolex and invest it back into your company or your projects or even more travels. Another lesson I learned the hard way is never book a shared room. I accidentally booked a shared room in a hostel while I thought I booked a private room, but it was not the case. And if you have people in your room who are snoring, or if you have people in your room who are really different from you because hostels are known for partying and that kind of stuff, then it's not really beneficial if you stay at such a place for a longer period of time and also build on your business during the day, or you need to work during the day. So I would recommend you just get a private room, don't book a hostel, even though it was accidentally this time, not on purpose. It was not that nice and I was too lazy to cancel it and book something else. So this was all on me, but never again when I'm for a longer period of time in one place. Another lesson 4, is if you're traveling and working at the same time, remember during the week you're also working. That means that you see less than when you're on a normal vacation. 3 weeks or 1 month is just too short to stay in one place if you're traveling and working at the same time, because you cannot see or do that much in that place. So I would recommend you to stay at least like 2 months, because in Lisbon I thought 1 month was too short as well, and in Madeira 3 weeks was definitely too short, especially because of all the hikes and the nature and the things you can do there. 5, rent a car. I met a friend, and with that friend we rented a car and we toured around the island. In Madeira, it's really nice to tour around the island. And if you have a car, you have two spots that you need to go to. One is Pico Ruivo. It's the perfect place to watch a sunrise, even though the way up with the car is kind of tricky because you're driving in the dark and you don't see that much. And Pico Ruivo, or I probably pronounced it really bad, is perfect for sunset. You need to do a small hike to get there, but the nature is beautiful and it's really worth it. So if you get a car, go to those hikes, go to those spots, because it's a must-see when you're on Madeira. Also, having a car gives you the opportunity to travel around the island way and way more. There's just one thing I want to say as well. If you go to Madeira, bring some good hiking shoes, because it's an island with beautiful nature. It's an island that has a lot to offer, but on your Nikes, it's not that nice to hike there. So bring some proper hiking shoes, enjoy the nature, go outside and see what kind of beauties this island had to offer, because it's amazing to see. Then I would say, like this video, subscribe, and if you want more information about Madeira, just send me a message on Instagram or something, because there's a lot of cool places and things to see and do. That's just too much to put in one video. This was specifically for remote workers, what to expect, and I hope I provided you a clear path, clear expectations of when you go to Madeira. If you want to know how my life was as a digital nomad in Lisbon, click this video to see that. And if you want to see what types of podcasts I recorded when I was in Madeira, click here for the playlist of the Digital Nomad podcast. Then I would say, visionaries, I check you later. Ciao.